Yo, what's going on? A lot of bats I'm looking at today. Not a lot of pitching matchups, but I got a few. Here's the weather right here. Let's get right into it. Colorado, Chicago. It's almost definitely going to rain. I don't know yet if the plan is for them to play through the rain. It's mostly light. Try to find a break in the rain, tough ass, or throw it in the towel and play a day when it doesn't rain. Pittsburgh, Atlanta, pretty typical ATL pop ups. They're all moving. So if one goes over the ballpark, should clear pretty quickly. Um, so Cleveland at Kansas City Royals. So nasty weather coming into KC tonight. But as of now, the models have storms popping just after the game. If that pans out, we could have a dry 9 innings of baseball. Green yellow for Cincinnati at St. Louis. A few spotty rain showers, but I think they just need to play straight through it. And that's exactly what I expect they'll do. Okay, so that's some rain right there. All right, that's some weather, rain, whatever you want to call it. Yesterday, you hit some, you woo some, but you live to fight another day, right? So I bet a lot of straights. I bet a lot of volume. I bet a lot of hit runs and RBIs. I love bats, as you can see. So those are some of the bats that I really hit right there. Let me see. Yesterday, right here, Jeffers, Royce, Lewis, da 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 da. Chris Sale down there, he got there for me. Orioles one total over. Carlos Correa. A lot of live betting in there as well. Royce Lewis, more Chris Sale down there, and Trey Turner, Ryan O'Hearn, a lot of live betting and stuff like that, right? So at the end of the day, hits, runs, and RBIs, as you see, is definitely my thing. Um, I do have a Facebook page if you want to follow it. If you're new to this channel, I mean that's where I mostly like posting most of my plays at here. So if you're new to this channel, you definitely can slide over here and give me a follow. That's a good way to get notified when I post some plays. I do tweet out. I just tweeted out yesterday for the first time in a long time. However, right now, let's get to these plays. Right, get to what I like and a few a few explanations for a few bats to show you the process and show you how long. I mean, and you'll know how long it takes to get through a process like this, right? Research tools, fan graphs, um, Baseball Savant. Those are my top two. So yeah, I do everything manually. I do have a little model, and you'll hear me say that frequently. Not frequently, but you hear me say that throughout the game. Now, Miami Marlins at Philly. We have an over under of 8.5 in this spot. Now we know we probably won't see Harper. We probably won't see Schwarber today. So at the end of the day, we do have Tyler on the mound, right? And I'm just looking at right hand pitching today. I mean batters. I mean I'm looking at the right hand. I'm looking at the pitcher. He's been in and out of the league. You know what I'm saying? Over the course of the years, haven't pitched much. So I'll tell you what I think, what I know, right, and how I wanna approach things. Okay. So I'm looking at give you an example of what I do, okay? Because I know there's going to be some new viewers here, so it is what it is, right? First of all, let's just go straight to the bats and what I'm looking at, okay? One guy we usually target for lefties, Alec Bohm, but he's kind of like flipped the script, right? So just give you guys a quick overview of what I looked at and what I'm looking at right now versus his pitch mix, whatever his pitch mix is going to be. This Tyler kid, um, he's batting about 300 against all these pitches, right? Um, Small sample size on the curveball, split fingers, and changeups and stuff like that. But for the most part, I mean, 286 expected 330 on the cutter. I mean, the sinker, 298 expected 316 on the sinker, a four seamer. Batting average 357 with expected 308. 308. This all comes versus a righty, right? So that's what I'm looking at right there. He's one bat, and I'm definitely looking at somebody like Trey Turner, right? So I got those two guys in my player pool blindly, not really too much caring. You know what I'm saying? I really like those guys because these guys they do hit righties, right? 286 for their full seamer, 240 on their slider, 385 on their sinker, 625 on their cutter. Small sample size, but he's hitting it. So the sweeper 333. So just about whatever he hits. Small size, sample size on his cutter and the sweeper, but pitch mix looks pretty good. It is what it is, right? So I do bet a lot of hits, runs, and RBIs. All the bets that I'm going to show you here, at least for a baseline hit, right? You can put on me hit parlays, things of that nature, right? So that's how I look at my bets. I'll point out some monster bets that I really like, right? So, but for right now, um, let's go through this list. Um, Alec Bohm hits all the way up to a home run. Same thing with Trey Turner. Hits, runs, and RBIs. Well, I will be playing those guys for hits, runs, and RBIs. CJ Abrams, Lane Thomas, Yandy Diaz. Yandy Diaz has been on fire. You can't deny, at least if you want to put him in your hit parlays or something like that, can't deny what he's been doing. He's had a hit or better in, 20 straight games? 19 straight games, right? So he's been on fire, in fuego. All right. So at the end of the day, Yandy Diaz is just in play for the simple fact that he's been hot. But he's a good player. And then, like I say, CJ Abrams, Lane Thomas, I like those guys as well. There's a couple more guys on the Washington side. This, as far as the game side in that one, I just don't know which way I want to go with that one, right? Now, this Rangers and Orioles, this is an interesting game. I'll look at this one here, give you guys a couple insights and things like that, right? Um, we got an over under 8.5 in the spot. We got Max Scherzer on the mound. I think he went four. Don't quote me. I think he went 5 innings last time. Pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? Solid. What he does throw. What does he throw? He throws that. I want to say he throws that fastball. He throws that fastball a lot, right? So I can go to some numbers here. Um, so, and I know people want to, they're gonna want to target this game some type of way, but they want to. People are gonna want some information on these guys as well, right? So, Max Scherzer, where are we? Okay, so versus right-handers, he is throwing. Let's see. All right, so let's look at 2024 for right now, right? The only game he only pitched one game, right? He still threw that four seamer 55% of the time, right? That fastball. Last year, 2023, um, that fastball. He threw that fastball and that slider, right? 45% of the time he threw that fastball, 5 home runs on it to lefties. To righties, he threw that. Five home runs to righties, and then he threw that slider at 35% of the time to righties. Right, that was last year. To lefties, he threw that four seamer 47% of the time. So at the end of the day, he's throwing that fastball. We know this, right? So taking a look at this team, taking a look at this team. We're going to slide over here to Baltimore as a whole. And I think we just went through this. As a whole, the four-seam fastball, we'll see what it looks like, what they're doing, and who got the batting averages and things of that nature, right? So, Adley Rutschman, McCann, if he's in the lineup, 371 batting average. Westberg, 333 batting average. O'Hearn, 320, 316 from Mountcastle. Guys like that. 280 for Austin Hayes. Kowser can get busy. Gunnar Henderson is the guy, right? And all of these are predicated. This right here is predicated from lefties and righties. This is just handedness. It's not a certain hand like left or right. This is everything in conjunction. So pretty good versus the fastball there, right? They're fastball dominant. Okay, so those are some things that I really want to point out there that this team can and will hit the fastball. I didn't look at the slider. Uh, the bats I'm looking at here would be Gunnar Henderson and Jordan Westberg. Uh, Jordan Westberg, we already know Gunnar Henderson is self-explanatory. Jordan Westberg, I'll show you guys some numbers and some splits on Jordan Westberg because that's mainly what I look at a lot. West Westberg, and he's heating up. I want to say right, and it's a matter of time for his numbers reflect on what for his actions reflect on his play reflects on what his numbers look like. Right, at home versus righties, you want to look at some of his advanced numbers and things like that. Um, he's batting 345. The K percentage is down, but this is Max Scherzer. Sometimes you got good pitchers to come out there and whiff your ass. but 345 batting average, 558 slugging, OPS at 948, 220 isolated power with a 170 WRC plus. Um, versus them, what is that? Their fastball and then slider he's throwing to righties. Actually, let's go to 2024. He only pitched one game. He only pitched one game. You know, he threw that four seam and a slider though, right? So Jordan Westbrook, let's take a look and see what he can do versus that four seam and that slider. We know what Gunner can do. Westbrook, right? Westberg, Jordan Westberg versus that four seam and that slider. So the slider, he's batting 238 versus that slider. He's got a home run. He will strike out versus that pitch, as you can see that will. He will strike out either way it goes. Versus that four seamer, where he's throwing it twice as much as he's throwing that slider. He's batting 389, expected batting average 327, slugging 759, 656, expected slugging, and so on and so forth. Five home runs, five doubles, 11 singles, right? So at the end of the day, this team has a lot of guys that can hit that fastball. Okay, if you're gonna go out there and throw two pitches, his ass might be in trouble. I don't give a fuck how good he is, right? So that's one thing that you can look at right there. Um, Santander's got like 15 home runs versus right hand pitching. All of them. He got. I think he got 21 home runs, 15 of them for versus right hand pitching. So you're not. I'm not just limited to Westberg. It's just too many bats for me to go out there and just break down to you guys. So at the end of the day, um, these are the probably my favorite ones. Okay, let me fix my camera. Okay, at the end of the day, these are just my favorite ones, right? My top two favorite ones. Now, on the flip side, um, I do have um, I do have I do have Corey Seager up there because he's good at baseball. All right, self-explanatory for the Yankees game, Judge, Vladdy. But first and foremost, rewinding back to this Baltimore game, you're gonna get Baltimore on the money line for a nice price at -124. The line is fishy, of course. They're giving Scherzer some respect. Also, I forgot what I had capped for Suarez, so I ain't gonna give you guys nothing on this game, right? I'm just let you know right now. His pitch mix, these guys can hit it. All right, so let me not don't let me start talking about games because yeah, don't let me start talking about games. I don't bet a lot of games for people who know, right? I don't bet a lot of games. All right, so let me see something here. I got a little glare, but I ain't even gonna worry about it. Let's keep it moving. Aaron Judge, Vladdy, those guys are self-explanatory. Um, for the do what you please with those guys. Vladdy has been on fire, man. I like Vladdy. Those guys. You can at least throw them in your hit parlays, things of that nature. Keep it moving if that's what you want to do. Um, um, Astros at okay, so Altuve, Jordan Alvarez, Francisco Alvarez, right? In the model, I do have a model. In the model, Altuve, Francisco Alvarez, then Jordan Alvarez. That's the order that it popped up in. Me personally, I like Altuve in this one here. Like him hits, runs, and RBIs, whatever the case may be. A little tidbit about this game here. Houston, right? Uh, if you're looking at, they'll be going up against who? Tyon? Who's pitching? Let me see. Quintana, right. So at the end of the day, as a team versus left hand pitching, um, Houston, right? 16% K rate on the season, right? They don't strike out. 107 WRC plus, they don't strike out, right? And then you get somebody like Quintana whose K rate is probably around 15. I know it's less than 20, so it is what it is. Uh, last 30 days, Houston 15.8% K rate with 100 WRC plus. As you can see, like I said, they don't strike out, right? So he's going to have to go out there and pitch a hell of a fire game. Now I do like other bats here from the Astro side. Yanier Diaz, Pena, McCormick, those guys. If those guys are in the lineup, that's just going to make this lineup a little bit more dangerous. But Jordan Alvarez, he's always in play. I like Jordan Alvarez as my number two bat. And then I looked into the matchup. I, mean, I looked into so the model, like I said, the model popped up with Francisco Alvarez. I didn't like it too much, but I can't deny what he's been doing. You know what I'm saying? I can't deny what he's been doing. At least for a hit, he's got a hit in 9 games straight. I don't know about his 13 of his last 20, but as of late, he's been hitting the ball. You know what I'm saying? Hits, runs, and RBIs for him. He's 5 of 10. His runs and RBIs sitting at 1.5. Home runs, he only hit what? He hit 3 home runs on his last 5 games, so that's something that you want to see. And then he's heating up, so that's probably one of the number one reasons why he's been popping in the model. Keep in mind this New York Mets team don't strike out a lot either, right? Going up against Blanco. Blanco is a really good pitcher. We'll see what's gonna happen. I don't have a side in this one. You guys got a side in this one? Let me know. I damn near want to lean towards Houston, but let me know. San Diego Padres at Boston Red Sox, right? We got Vasquez on the mound. We got Pavetta on the mound. I'm leaning towards the over in this one. I like bats. I'm going to show you why. Now, heading over here to this Boston game here, and it's just self-explanatory, man. I mean, Vasquez is terrible, right? So looking at Vasquez here, um, first and foremost, this boy here has been getting his ass tore up, right? Looking at left hand pitching, right? Batters, right? He's giving up a 550 batting average on that four seamer, which he's throwing that four seamer, which he's throwing that four seamer uh, 30% of the time. That changeup, he's got a 440 batting average on that changeup. That curveball, he's got a 333 batting average on that curveball. The cutter, he's got a four. Look at this, 412, 667. Like his splits versus lefties are fucking horrible, right? And lefties, and you know what this Boston team is going to throw out their lefties. So at the end of the day, Duran, he's in play. And you got guys that hit righties really well because Vasquez is a righty. You got O'Neill. O'Neill hits righties well. So at the end of the day, Devers is going to probably be he's got to be the top batter of the day up there. Hopefully, he's going to go out there and sell because the whole industry is going to be on him, right? So at the end of the day, that's what I'm looking at right there. Now, on the flip side, this Padres team, they don't strike out much, right? Pavetta, he's got a high K rate, 27.2% K rate. Um, he can get hit too, right? His splits are on, let me see. He got some weird splits. I can show you guys real quick. Pavetta. No. Okay, so let's see. Okay. So he will walk some batters, right? He's walking lefties, okay? So you're going to see his fair share of lefties today. Speaking of lefties and speaking of this game in general, like I said, all these bats are in play, right? Um, all these bats are in play. Um, I just showed you guys how bad he was versus lefties. On the other side, Jake Cronenworth, Jackson Merrill, Profile, these guys. I'm gonna tell you all with these guys. Let me show you what these guys, how these guys. Let me show you how these guys stack up against Pavetta before I get out of here, because I think that's important. Okay, so Pavetta. Let's go Pavetta versus lefties, right? So I want to show you guys this so you guys can see how he stacks up. And I'm gonna show you guys one batter, and this should apply for each and every last one of them, right? So for Veta, right? Okay. Um, so Pavetta is. So I'm gonna tell you what these Padres hitters. Pavetta versus lefties, he's throwing that four seamer 50% of the time, um, and that curveball to lefties at 20 30% of the time. To righties, he's throwing that four seamer 47% of the time. Right, he's pitching his worst to right hand batters. 304 with the four seamer, 364 with the cutter, da 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 da. He's really throwing four seamer and sweeper to the righties, and then he's throwing a four seamer and curveball to the lefties. All right. So, looking at this team, I want to say, let me see, four seamer. Let me see if I can get this right. Okay, four seamer. Um, So you might as well say he's throwing that four seamer 50% of the time, no matter what. Okay. Um, who is this? The Padres. Okay. See if this proves my point here. Okay, the Padres, right? Um. Hmm. So Manny Machado, Tatis not in. He's batting 300. Profar, Merrill, Jackson Merrill, Reyes, and Kyle, right? Whatever his name is, Kyle. All these guys got a 300 batting average versus that fastball. If if he keeps throwing that fastball to these guys, they're gonna have to try to hit that fastball. They're gonna get their fair share of fastball. That's all I'm saying. They'll get their fair share, and we'll see. The top bat that popped for me in that model in the model for on this side was Merrill Jackson, right? Jackson Merrill. Then Profile. Um, Further down the line was Kyle. I was looking at some of Kyle's numbers here, and um, I mean, he's got some power numbers, right? He can hit some home runs versus that fastball. Let me show you guys. I don't even fucking know how to pronounce his name. Kyle High. Okay. Um, he will hit it pretty hard. Okay. I didn't even list him, but just to show you guys what he can do versus the fastball, and he'll probably strike out. I didn't look at the strikeout numbers, but definitely want to show you exactly what he can do versus that fastball. Um, He's batting 417 versus that fastball. Hasn't seen it much, but when he did, you might as well say he knocked it out the park. He got four home runs against that, 12 plate appearances, five hits, which would be he's hit he's hitting for power on that motherfucker, right? So you could definitely look at him to take one deep. All right, you could look at him to take one deep because he's crushing it, and he's pitching it 50% of the time. The top bat who popped for me was Merrill, right? Jackson Merrill. Um, on this, on not the top bat on San Francisco. I mean San Diego, right? So looking at what it what it looks like is so we know he's throwing that Pavetta's throwing that fastball for 50% of the time. He's got a 300 batting average on that fastball, right? Jackson Merrill. That's why he popped number one. 300 batting average on that fastball. What's the next pitch that Pavetta is throwing versus righties? The sweeper, right? I don't know how he's doing versus that sweeper. The sweeper, he's only seen it. He hasn't hit it. Okay, 5 at bats he hadn't hit it. Okay, the next pitch he's throwing, um, those are the only two pitches he's really throwing. 47%, 38%, then 7% with the cutter. Like those are really small percentages. However, he's hittable. And then you got Cronenworth. All those guys, they got similar splits, right? So for the bats, I didn't put Kyle there. You know what? I'm gonna put him right there. Let me put him right there. Let me put him right there, right? Kyle. Let me put him right there. Okay. Because I can't deny what he's been doing. Okay, he's a home run candidate. Okay, I'm just gonna put him up there. Just gonna click anything just to get him in the player pool. All right, enough of that long talking and stuff. I skipped over this Colorado game. Pittsburgh Pirates. Look, the Atlanta Braves, they're going up against a lefty. Anytime they're going up against a lefty, they all in play, right? They all in play. Anytime they're going up against a lefty, they all in play. This Atlanta Braves team, they haven't hit anything. They've hit lefties this season. So you know it is what it is. Versus left-hand pitching, Atlanta Braves WRC plus 101. Strikeout percentage around 24. Um, um, on the season versus lefties. Atlanta 108 WRC plus, so they've been a little bit better versus left-hand pitching, right? What do I have penciled in? I mean, Ozuna is self-explanatory. Um, um, Charlie Morton, I lean towards the over strikeouts for him. I never take his strikeouts. He's in the strikeout spot. But this Pittsburgh Pirates team has been hitting, so I haven't pulled the trigger yet. It's a lean. Also, his pitching outs are lean. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just sprinkle a little bit on both of them. If they hit, they hit. But Ozuna, Albies, I didn't put Albies down, so Albies is in play here. But you know, at the end of the day, like I said, this team does hit uh, hit lefties, right? So I'm just gonna throw Albies up there and just pencil him in for about anything real quick. Uh, just pencil him in, right? So I have him in my player pool. Okay. And Brian Reynolds. So I have Reynolds penciled in right here. Reynolds, right? At least a hit, whatever the case may be. Reynolds has been on fuego, you guys already know. He's hit what? He's got at least a hit in what? 23, 24, 24 games straight. Last 20 games. I know he's got on the 20 game hitting streak. Uh, 2024. Shit. He's been hitting. At the end of the day, he's been hitting. Right now, he's over a 20 game hitting streak. Don't have that accurate number right now, but it is what it is. So next game here, and the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers. We're looking at the lefties here. Fishy number at minus 136. Colin Rea, his expected ERA, I mean, yeah, expected ERA was up in the fives. I think he's around 3.4s right now. I have been chasing that expected ERA for 2 games straight, and he's proven me wrong. Last game I didn't bet against him, and he got smacked up. I forgot who they played against. So at the end of the day, but this Cubs team, they bats are pretty much anemic at times, and most times. So what I'm looking at here on both sides of the ball, I'm looking at the lefties on both sides of the ball here. Tyon, um, he has a tendency. If he does give it up, he definitely can give it up to lefties. But he's been pitching great in some weird spots. Rhea, he's a guy who can give it up. He can give it up to lefties as well. Two bats that semi popped. One popped, one was there. So Cody Bellinger, just as he's just in play, right? And then Michael Bush. Michael Bush looked okay. He popped over Cody Bellinger, but both of those guys in play. On the Milwaukee Brewers side, top batter of this game, Christian Yelich. He's the one that I'm going to, Christian Yelich. And then two more lefties popped up was Terrain and Sal Frelick. Um, One thing about Sal Frelick, his averages and stuff look really, really good, right? So Terrain popped above Sal Frelick. I personally like Sal Frelick. I would rank them Yelich, Frelick, then Terrain, but it is what it is, right? So it is what it is. I like Yelich in this one, but I did pencil the rest of those batters in just to have them. But I do like Yelich hits runs and RBIs all the way up to a home run, right? His splits at home everything favors him at home. Okay, it's the same thing with Freelick. His splits favored him at home. Okay, Cleveland Guardians at Kansas City Royals over under 9.5 in this spot. I ain't gonna lie. Top bat here is gonna be Marsh McKenzie. I mean, it's gonna be top bat is gonna be Bobby Witt. I think he's like 4 for 10 or something like that versus him. Two of them was home runs. I like Bobby Witt. I like Bobby Witt. Honorable mention if you just had to get to another bat for somebody for some power, you can get Salvador Perez. On the flip side, Cleveland Guardians, I like Quan. Okay, um, unfortunately, um, Ramirez, his numbers didn't pop to me. You know what I'm saying? His numbers didn't pop like I thought they were, but he's in play. And if you're looking for another home run candidate, you could look at Josh Naylor, not Bo Naylor. They twin. I'm gonna say they're twins, but they brothers. They both play on the same team. Josh Naylor, not Bo, right? Josh. Remember that, Josh. I should have these guys in my player pool, which would be Quan, Naylor, Perez, Bobby Witt. Top bat probably going to be 1A, 1B right here. Bobby Witt, Stephen Quan. I think Bobby Witt can get him today. Next game here we're going to talk about is the Cleveland Cincinnati Reds and St. Louis Cardinals. No, we got weather implications here. St. Louis Cardinals bats, I never really recommend them, but I'll tell you what's going to happen right now. Palatine, whatever his name is, versus righties, I want to say, versus lefties. He's throwing that fastball 70% of the time, and that's gonna be Brian De La Cruz. He's gonna jump on that left. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz. He's gonna jump on that left side. He's got to be in play versus that fastball. He's got three home runs versus right hand pitching, right? Versus that fastball. So that puts him in play. All he got to do is lamp. Okay, just lamp on it. So I'll tell you how I'm looking at these bats right here. Allen Burson, Brendan Donovan, Nolan Gorman. They popped. I normally don't even go for them. Brendan Donovan popped at the top. Burleson is who I like. Nolan Gorman is probably the only guy I'm looking at for a home run. You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking at him for power and power only, right? If I'm looking for, but I'm not saying that I'm going there, but he has the ability to hit home runs, bro. So, uh, the model like Donovan, I like Burleson. I know he can. I know Gorman can hit a home run. Let's just keep it moving. Some way, somehow, Contreras popped in there, right? And I don't know why, right? But it is what it is. Wilson Contreras, he popped. Detroit Tigers, Los Angeles Angels. I expect runs to be put up in this one. I don't have a clear say how or know how Angels are going to put up runs, but Kenta Maeda on the road, his splits looks bad. Plesac should get his ass lit up. At the end of the day, I'm looking at Detroit bats here. These bats were kind of clear for me. Riley Green, I like Riley Green. Hits runs and RBIs all the way up to a home run. He cashed his runs and RBIs for me yesterday. Looking for him to carry on over today. He had 2 hits. He had 2 hits. One more out. One more out for the pitcher. I forgot his name, and he walked that last batter. I knew they was about to pull him. He gave up 5 runs. Either way it go, Matt Verlin, he's another guy, right? So these two guys who I'm looking at right there, hits, runs, and RBIs. I'll be betting these guys early and often. I already, sprinkle something on them. So it is what it is. Bailey, next game here we're looking at would be the Minnesota Twins. Bailey Ober and Gilbert on the mound, right? Over under 7 in this spot. And Bailey Ober is in the strikeout spot. Last time he faced his team, he hit the 6.5 strikeouts. I'm going to the 6.5 strikeouts, even though his splits are bad, man. So at the end of the day, even he's pitching his worst on the road. Even if Seattle get him, just hopefully he can get to his strikeouts, right? Hopefully he get to his strikeouts. Not an official play, but I've taken the strikeouts. If he's getting a strike in the ass out really, really good, I'm laddering him over live, right? Might ladder him over early. You know what I'm saying? Never know. But at the end of the day, he's on one of the best strikeout spots on the slate. So it is what it is, right? I'm looking at the strikeouts. That's the play for me. Um, Oakland and Arizona. Right now, this video is getting long as hell. So Oakland and Arizona, we got an over under 8.5 in the spot. And I'm definitely going to have to just show you this real quick, and then we'll get out of here, right? So let's go over here to this Oakland game, right? let's talk about let's talk about JP Sears. Okay, so JP Sears, um, he is so versus righties, right? He's tossing out that fastball 33% of the time. Um, he's a lefty. Okay, you know this Arizona team can hit lefties, right? So 33% of the time the changeup, 25% of the time, and then sweeper, 25% of the time. On that four seamer, he's got 6 home runs on that four seamer towards righties, right? So it is what it is. Towards lefties, that four seamer, he's throwing that four seamer 47% of the time, right? Towards lefties. Oh no, I'm sorry. I am sorry. That's the sweeper. That is the sweeper. But the four seamer, he's throwing that fourth sweeper 47% of the time, and then that's just towards lefties, and then towards righties. I mean the fastball he's throwing it 20% of the time. He's got a 350 batting average on that, right? So who I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at um, I'm looking at Marte. I'm looking at Ketel Marte in this one here versus a lefty. He's pretty good versus lefties. All right. So let's see. Um, and let's check out this pitch mix, right? Because I need to get look at this pitch mix real quick. Uh, he's a switch, so he can be in the game all game long. I definitely give I give the I give him the advantage there, right? So by him throwing by him throwing that I turn my light back on. By him throwing that four seamer, no, he's JPC is throwing that sink that sweeper 47% of the time. He's doing okay with it. Only got 1 home run. He's doing okay with it. Um, Marte hasn't seen it that much. He's batting 250 versus it. Hasn't seen that much. He does have a home run versus it, so that's something like that. Um, what is that? What was that? The sweeper? Yeah, so he hadn't seen it that much last year either, right? He was batting 400 on that. He only seen that a couple times as well. Now, the next pitch that he's throwing is that four seamer, and he better not go to that four seamer. Cattell Marte is batting 429 versus that four seamer with 5 home runs. Okay, so it is what it is with that. So that's my reasoning behind taking Ketel Marte. Now, keep in mind, there's some other bats that I like too. You got Richard. I think he's 2 for 2 with 2 home, and those two are 2 home runs. He's another guy that you can just about. I mean, he's like a specialist for them, right? Richard. Let's see, Randall. He's gonna be like a specialist for these guys, right? Um, so a lot of people don't face that sweeper, and he throws that sweeper a lot. So that's one thing that he can hang his hat on. He's been pitching it pretty well, but Randall Gritchen really haven't seen the sweeper. But if he runs across that fastball, small sample size, but he is batting 407 versus that fastball and sinking 417. So it is what it is with that spot. Everything he hits right now, and especially in these top three pitches that he's seen a lot, has been for power, right? So even if he's still in play, even if the pitcher gets knocked out of the game, right? So a lot of this team hasn't seen a lot of that sweeper but the fastball they have, and if he wants to get fastball heavy, you can look at this team versus fastballs, right? Uh, the Diamondbacks versus the fastball, especially a lefty because they do hit lefties well. They have a ton of guys who hit right. Um, um, Only 11 plate appearances for Smith, but at the end of the day, it's up there, right? Blaze 421, Perdomo 348 batting average against that fastball. Marte 344. Randall Gritches 341. Jock Peterson is going down 333 batting average against that fastball. But you guys get it, man. You get the drift, right? You get the drift. Hold on. Let me see. Refresh that real quick. Yeah. Who was I? What I? McCarthy, Norman, Lourdes Uriel, he's definitely in play. Marino as well, right? All these guys are in play, right? So I don't know how I want to attack this game as far as the game side because on the other side too, I'm not a favorite. I'm not a fan of Slade Ciccone either, right? So there can be runs be put up in this one here. I couldn't talk you off the over here. I couldn't. I just I'm worried about them versus that sweeper, right? I'm worried about them versus that sweeper, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Here's a guy, Slade Ciccone, on the flip side, versus lefties. He's throwing that fastball 57% of the time, with a good for a 344 batting average. Y'all already know where I'm going with this one, right? JJ Bleday, right? JJ Bleday, here's a guy who crushes it, right? He crushes that fastball. If he gets a chance to get this fastball, it's a wrap, right? And by him throwing that fastball 55% of the time, 57% of the time, he's gonna get his moment, right? He just gotta relish the moment. It's about time too. It's about time, right? First that four seamer, 350 batting average, 4 home runs, 9 doubles, 15 singles, da 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 da. Slugging 600, expected slugging 503. So y'all know what the deal is, right? And then the next bat that I'll be looking at, of course, it would be his guy. It would be Brent Rooker, right? It would be Brent Rooker. So um, here's another guy. He's got power, right? He'll take this. He'll take you deep. So at the end of the day, let's take a look at his numbers, and I'll get out of here, right? What is he throwing towards righties? He's throwing that four seamer 52% of the time in the slider. That's all he's throwing. The four seamer slider. He's got 300 batting average on that four seamer and a 200 batting average on that slider. If Rooker catches this slider, you can kiss it goodbye. I'm telling you this shit right now. Rooker, 324 batting average on that slider, 4 home runs, 700 slugging, expected slugging at 700. Safe to say, but he will strike the fuck out. But if he get contact with that slider, it's just about a wrap, right? This year versus that four seamer, he's only batting 231 with expected batting average of 277. Last year versus that four seamer, he had 253 batting average, but he had 7 home runs on it. He can get hot. We'll see what's gonna happen. JJ Bleday and Brent Rooker for the whatever you call them, Oakland A's, right? And then all the bats, Jock Peterson's, Cattell Marte is my top bat over there on that side. Randall Grichuk, I couldn't talk you off of him either. Like, um, what's his name? Mm, what's his name? Christian Walker, like Lourdes Uriel. If I had to take it, I probably would take a stab at the over, and the over is at -124. I might take a stab at the over. It's probably going to be 9.5 and soon, right? This Los Angeles Dodgers game, like I don't have a lot for this game. I mean, you got Freeman, you got Otani home run, home run. Otani's home run is up, so I think it's up at like plus what? Well, let me see to hit a home run for Otani against him, you're gonna get plus 500. Like, man, plus 500. That's not first home run, no, that's regular home run, right? Plus 500 for a home run. Of course, Webb is pretty good, man. You know, so this game might have an underfield to it. We'll see. At the end of the day, take what you like, leave what you don't. I will condense these bats down. I'll give you guys another shot real quick. I'll give you guys a money shot right here and just go through these bats and everything, these plays. Now, don't ignore what I got them up there for hits. These are just for hits all the way to a home run, right? A lot of bats there, a lot of bats, a couple strikeout candidates, whatever it is, whatever you want to do, right? Give you a look at them right there before I get out of here. I bet a lot of hits, runs, and RBIs. It's going to be one of those days today. Pitching is not good today. It's gonna be one of those days I'm gonna be live betting like a motherfucker all game, all day long. Peace.